Hey guys, I wanted to show you something very cool I recently discovered. Maybe some of you know it already. Is Well, it looks like it's a small project, but I certainly hope it gets a lot more attention because it's pretty cool. Let me show you what it's about. It's a project called Swagger. Yeah, I know it's quite funny, but actually this is super useful. Let me tell you what it is. It's a little program. Well, actually, it's nothing. It's a spec. These people, I think it's the people of WordNick here. They created a spec to define REST APIs, and well, I can do a lot of talking, but I can also show you a demo. They got a demo which I can show you here. Swagger demo. Let's see, then the link should pop up. Yeah, is basically what you get if you follow the Swagger specification. Then you will end up with a API that is it's consumable by REST clients, and you can produce it with REST servers. They have a few samples of that in their repository, but let me first show you how this stuff works. Here I just went to the demo page of them, and I can click here. For example, they made a little demo app. It's about a pet store or something. And I select pet here, and as you can see, it's very colorful. You get your whole API is visualized, and not only that, if I go in and I can search for an ID. I don't think it works now because probably they reset the example, because last time I looked there was no animals in here, but I guess somebody deleted it and now added it again. But as you can see here is I can use the API immediately, try it out, and I can see the result immediately, the response headers, and very cool. But that's not all. You also by following the spec, it visualizes the documentation here, so you can see basically, this is a pet model. It takes an ID, a category, a name, photo URL, and a status. As you can see here, category is a type, and the photo URLs are arrays of strings. And yeah, basically this gives you a lot of information about your API. Well, if you just follow the spec, people don't have to guess and try and to learn your API. They can just open the Swagger UI, and they immediately can start playing with your API. It's very nice, here as you can see. And yeah, I was so impressed by this, so I thought well, I should use this. This is just great because as you could see in the few last videos I created about JavaScript and Java interaction, I really love this field. It's very new, the interaction between Java and JavaScript. But one of the downsides of interacting with JavaScript or with JavaScript and Java is that you lose a lot of type information. And I immediately recognized in this project Swagger how I could get my type information back. So yeah, I started playing around with it a little bit. I did some experimenting, and I came up with sorry, I have to cough a bit. I came up with a first draft implementation of the Swagger stuff in Core9, and yeah, let me show you how that looks like. Let's see, I just did a test build just to make sure my demo will work. I can run, of course, what I did is you have the platform. I can show you my configuration. You have the platform. In the class path I set the modules that I needed, and I implemented the Swagger API or spec inside the REST API, module REST API. So let me show you how that works. I will start the Core9. Yeah, wait a bit, and yeah, it should be started. Let's see. I think I have a database. Yeah, I haven't installed the database. I'm sorry, I got an old database somewhere. Let me see, because I just updated it, and this is the old one. No. Su. Okay, guys, don't try this at home. Sudo su. But yeah, who cares? So I believe I have to shut down this one. Okay, I'll just check. Wow, Jesus, this is a bit uptight, but okay, I will do this. Service Mongo DB status. Yeah, okay, this one is stopped, and I will go to let's see, opt Mongo bin, and I will start the Mongo version I need. Go. Oh, sorry. Opt Mongo bin. So Mongo DB. Oh my God, what is it? Huh? Okay. Yeah, I'm doing this and not really thinking. Okay, let's see, because I don't want to reinstall everything. I should have things working. Oh, what is this? What is this? Dashboard login. Oops, it already got this in memory, so I have to restart this again. I'm sorry, guys. Should have thought about this a little bit earlier. I'm so used to just starting up and get running. Okay, here. Okay, we're now in the dashboard. I hope you're already familiar with it. If not, you'll just see one of the earlier screenshots. Okay, I'll go to features, and I implemented the Core9 Swagger feature. Yeah, basically you just apply it. When you just apply it, you have to, I think you have to refresh the widgets and the page models again, and then yeah, the big trick, we can go to localhost 8080 and or whatever domain you're running on, and /swagger, and what we get is a API. I explore it, click it, and as you can see, we got a first API here. And this module is still in development. Well, actually, it's I'm quite happy with the way it works now. But there are a few little things that I want to add to this. For example, as you can see here now, I pre-filled this and it's hard-coded. So it's just to give you guys, give you some help when not having to figure out how the URLs are working. And I came up with that is, I'm not too sure if they recommend of doing this, but as you can see here in the demo of the Swagger UI, well, now it's it looks organized. You know, you got 3 items here, and well, yeah, you can show or look at everything pretty organized. But I was thinking, my God, this is really cool, and probably I wanna use this a lot. And I will show you the code that is used to create this. And then I thought, oh well, then I will end up with a page that is got all these APIs here, and it will be quite messy. So what I did was I gave every API or I call it this is called resources. So I gave every resource its own URL, and for now it's just the name of the API and then -docs. So I think we got here store. We got here, can explore that. Yeah, you see, got the store here, store, and I got user, I think, is in there. Users, I think, no, it's user is in there. I can get, and then for example I can get user, I think it's user 1. Yeah, see here, you can try it, and yeah, very nice. And I am now very happy with this. I will make this some sort of drop down or multi-select or whatever, but that's details. Also, the way it looks, probably some people might think, my God, why doesn't this look more like the Core9 dashboard? But yeah, I will implement this or integrate it really nice with the normal dashboard, so it will be have the integrated look. But that's all details. This is really a dev tool, so I guess not much of you will complain about this. So what is my idea with this? The idea is, of course, you get your API like this. You can use and see and experiment with your API like this, and that's all nice. You know, you can make a nice SPI or a nice Ajax site or application, and this will be very, very useful. But the thing is, because I was working on that's my girlfriend laughing. But I have to admit, I'm quite excited about this stuff. Yeah, shut up. Okay, no, I'm quite excited about this because like using an API, we all did it, and we all used to doing it. You know, you make your call over HTTP, and okay, nice, you get your very nice JSON you can rely on and you can process and work with. Yeah, all very good, and especially if you got a interface like this, it's like a no-brainer You can just look at the interface and figure out how to work with this. But I thought this is perfect for the JavaScript and Java integration. And now let me show you why. Because as you know from maybe you've seen the other screencast, sorry, that you can you can address the Java backend from the JavaScript. The only thing is that if you want to do that, you have the Java code, which is well, probably most of the time, if you know, that is made by a different person. So that person has to worry about the documentation, or you have to get into their code. And you know, basically the way I set it up was very very loose. You know, it was it had no rules or anything. It basically it was a JSON in, JSON out, and what you put into the JSON, yeah, well, that is something which you have to figure out, or have to document, or read into the code to see what it consumes. And this Swagger project just really solves that problem. So what I'm doing now is I implemented this UI, and I worked on it on the back end. And I'm a little bit sorry for you JavaScript only guys, but this is really well, actually not, because I got some ideas that also to use JavaScript really on the back end, like really to package into jars. But yeah, I didn't have the time to experiment with that, but that might come also. But for now, this is really Java oriented code. So basically what I did was I looked at the Swagger project. I went to their GitHub page. GitHub. Oh, GitHub. WordNick. Yeah, here, WordNick. Okay, I went to the GitHub page, and I should really start this more, because for example, today I did some experiments with generating the code from the API, and it was really cool. It just worked. Very nice. But I went to their GitHub page. I looked at Swagger Core, and immediately ignored the documentation and dove into the samples. And my God, they had a lot of samples here, as you can see, and this is really cool. And the first thing I thought, my God, why is Core9 not in here? Yeah, it's a bit funny. But anyway, I looked at these examples, and they were very inspiring, because for example, I started out with Java Drop Wizard. It's a little REST project. It's quite nice. I can show you page. Drop Wizard. Yeah, Drop Wizard. Let's see. Well, very plain, but you know, if you see how it works, is like first you create a config, then a service, you initialize it, and you run it. And if you look at the example here, then the code is really simple, really clear. It's like, my God, you cannot fuck this up. I'm sorry for that, but and that's exactly, that's my kind of code. I really love it when it's so clear, so easy to understand, and basically you don't need to explain anything to anybody. I can show you here. This is a little bit drop wizard stuff, but it's really easy. They got this little configuration class. Actually doesn't really do anything, and you got the sample service. And I must admit, I didn't really go into the drop wizard stuff. I just tried this example and looked at drop wizard a little bit to re-engineer the code and to use it within Core9, which was actually very easy. And okay, what you can see here is they have an environment and a configuration, and basically it's drop wizard that combines it, takes these two. You have to fill it and then it runs it. And as you can see here, you add the resources, and then you add the configuration, and basically well, what you see here, these classes, that is basically all Swagger code. So what they do here is they provide a class that takes care of, if I can show you this. This is, for example, what is this? Okay. This is the code. This is basically the API is like this is the root level. It gives you the version, a very high level information. See, you get here the version, and then you get the APIs, which it will use to dig in. It will go into that. So you can okay, wait, this is the root resource, like really the basics, and that is what you will see here. API listing resource JSON. That is basically what's producing this. Then you go to the new pet resource, and I was really happy to see this. New pet resource, add resource. We can go to the pet resource. Here, Swagger sample. You go to the resources, and there you find the pet resource. And look at this. Look, the first thing I always look at when I see code, the first thing I look at is the bastard extended from something? Because, oh my god, yeah, people really love I know some people that really love extending shit. I'm sorry, it doesn't fly for me, because if you start extending stuff, you can't take it out, you can't put it in something else. And yeah, basically I love POJOs, and I love my stuff to be in strategies, and put it around it and use composition a lot. So when I saw this class, I was like, oh my god, this is going to be easy. I got basically a POJO that is okay. I must say, you got a lot of annotations in there, but immediately, because I was thinking, my god, where do they get this information from? Is this gonna be a mess? And when I saw this class, I was like, okay, yeah, I must admit, this is probably one of the few ways of doing it right. I have to admit, this class really looks like a mess. Aesthetically, it's like not very okay, but it's only a facade. It's only a facade about your real code. It's the API. It's the thing that you don't want to mess with. So basically, yeah, you can read this as like a real contract. You know, you write down what you provide, what you consume, and that's it. Then you just don't touch the file anymore. You know, not if you want to keep your friends, because yeah, this is yeah, you can document anything in here. And if you look at the API of the Swagger UI, you can really see all the stuff here. I must say there are some things which I found to be like a I'm not sure if this is the way to go, but for example, here you got post user and then put body, and then well, I guess you have to put the like something like this here, and yeah, it says here, it shows, oh, okay, it shows the model, the data type, yeah, so okay, I guess you could see this as the documentation, so it's not that bad, but you know, yeah, well, it's sort of okay. Yeah, well, actually, that was my issue. You know, can I get all my type information in this spec? You know, can I define everything with exactly the right precision? And yeah, you got here your parameter is of type body, and the data type is model, and then it says which model. Yeah, I guess this is clear. Yeah. Maybe I wanted this to be specified out here in this form, but I don't know. Okay. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, I showed you the code here, and as soon as I saw this, I thought, yeah, this is pretty okay. I can do stuff with there. And then I looked more at the sample, I looked more at the code, and I saw I could very easily differentiate between like drop wizard code and basically what you're seeing here is just standardized JAX RS. So I don't know if I pronounced that right, but like I think producers. Yeah, I think this is the normal RS, the JAVAX RS definitions. Also, like the get, the path. The only thing I think what Swagger added is like API operations, API response, API param. I think all the stuff with API in it. That is what Swagger provides. So like this stuff. But anyway, let's see how I got it to work in Core9, which is relatively easy. So I can show you some code. I don't know if you recognize this, but it says like coordinate Swagger sample resource, and here exactly the same. So basically what I did was I had imported their project, the sample project, and I basically copied all this code here into here, and then I did it a little bit the same way as Drop Wizard did. I just wrote a small connector that could provide these resources. So as you can see here, I got the pet resource. It's exactly the same as the one you see here. See, it's just the same. And yeah, so I got the code in here. I had to add some dependencies, but overall I had no problems with that. And I thought, okay, how to connect this to Core9? Well, I did it really easy. I just basically what I did was I wrote a little resource provider. So I created myself a little REST resource provider, and you just have to implement it. And you can say here get resources. As you can see here, a little bit config, and then I have a very plain map here, the resource map, and I put all the resources in there. So as you can see here, new pet resource, new pet store resource, new user resource. I add it together with the config. I wrote a little utility method here. It just maps the class name to the resource name to the initiated resource here, which is just a POJO. And then I wrote a little boot strategy here, you can see, and it takes a REST resource module registry. I think I can skip that one, but anyway, I will show you that. I fill the REST resource module registry. I use it to basically to transport all the resources. So here I go over the registry. I extract all the REST resources that come with a REST resource provider, and then I add them to the REST resource module registry, which is here, the impl. So which is also basically a hash map. So maybe you could skip this whole part and add it here. So I got all my resources bundled and put in a little registry. And then where do I need them? I need them in a router. Yeah, this stuff is, I admit, this is a bit ugly, but yeah, basically it doesn't matter for right now. I'm refactoring, and somebody really likes to clean up code. Please do it. But for now it's just like this. And what you see here is basically get a request, split it out, and get my the resource I need from the registry, all in memory, go pretty fast. Shoop, and I process the resource, the request, and I get a JSON object back. So how does that look like? I wrote a little, what is it? Where is it? The dispatcher. Oh yeah, REST dispatcher. So yeah, what I did is just add a fixed URI or URI mapper, and basically I now claimed the API path, and I don't know if this is the way to go. Probably I should connect it to a data handler, and then anybody could put it to whatever path he wanted. But this is how I now implemented it. So as you can see here, the request comes in, split it out, and basically this is the only thing you need to do. Get yourself your REST router, which is injected here. Say get me my response with these parameters, and you will get your JSON object. which is pretty nice. As you can see here, you know, here I call user here, and you get this effect. The user is under this URL, see, and yeah, works quite well. So basically this is the same thing that Drop Wizard did. I basically just completely emulated the Drop Wizard functionality, but I thought, no, that's not enough, you know. This I got this JavaScript stuff going on. You know, if you've seen from previous screencasts, I got this module Nashorn that basically reads JavaScript, and I can show you a little example code here, which this is, I think this is an old one. Yeah, Nashorn data handler here. I can show you some code. What you get is, you know, here, let me see. Yeah, here I'm executing basically predefined JavaScript methods. So that whole part can now disappear, and I could just, you know, make API calls. As you can see here, I wrote a little test because I prepared that a little bit. I wrote here these tests that let's see, where is it? Oh yeah, here. You can now call this from the JavaScript, which is all server side. You know, there's no HTTP call, so that's another thing. I expect it to be much faster because you don't have the HTTP latency, and it, yeah, you know, it's all in memory, and no network stuff, even though it's local. But yeah. So what you see here is a very simple setup. Now I got a basically I create some request parameters. I do want to change this to create a little standardized JSON request object, so that you can create that request object in the JavaScript, and it doesn't need to be translated. It goes immediately into the get response, and you get a JSON object back, which is like a perfect match. So you create a JSON object in JavaScript, which is already like the way to go. You give it to the Java data handler, which only needs to put that JSON object inside here. So probably this will disappear, or basically it all, and it will just be replaced with a request, which would be a JSON object, and you would get a response, another JSON object back. And that is really nice because I could just pass that in back to the JavaScript again, and yeah, you can start working with it immediately. You just have your old familiar JSON, and yeah, basically that's what's gonna happen in the next few days, I think, because I'm very close to finishing this. It's already working, but yeah, this JavaScript now it's not connected to the JavaScript module, but as you can see here, it should be very easy. The REST router will be injected into the Nashorn module, and I can immediately start creating these responses. So yeah, I hope you can see the same thing I think to see. You know, it's like this is a great opportunity to work with the JavaScript code and the Java code, and how to work together with those without you know, the type system, which like really scares a lot of people, especially Java developers using JavaScript. They're like, what the hell are those guys doing with the JavaScript code? But now you can have, for any API, you can have your very nice, I must say this is much better than Javadoc documentation, and you can even use it on the fly and play with it. I'll put some permissions on it so that you can choose who gets to play with it, or even not load the UI at all, so or not make the REST API available by HTTP, just by internally Java to JavaScript code, you know, safety stuff. But yeah, I'm very excited of where this will go, and I hope you are also excited. And if you like, I could really use some feedback on this. You know, if you're a JavaScripter or a Java developer, you know, you want to give me a hand with this one. Yeah, I would really appreciate it. This just needs a lot of feedback, because yeah, it needs to be really nice and usable. Okay, that's it for now. The screencast turned out to be a little bit longer than I intended, but I think it's well worth it. This is just a lot of good stuff, and yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and keep following what will happen with this module. I'm very excited about it. Okay, bye, and yeah, see you in the next screencast, I hope. Okay, bye bye.